Hello friends and welcome to Picture Astrology. In this quick snap video we will learn about placement of Saturn in the sign of Cancer for a Cancer rising or Cancer Ascendant horoscope. So basically it means that we have a chart in which the fourth sign of the zodiac, Cancer, would be rising, and Saturn is placed in the first house itself because first house is the sign of Cancer. So we have a chart with the fourth sign Cancer rising in the first house, and when we have to interpret and predict based on placement of any planet, the first thing to notice or find out is how that planet behaves for that particular ascendant. Now Cancer ascendant is ruled by Moon, and the very first thing is that Moon and Saturn are enemies of each other. They don't really get along well, and it is basically because the innate nature, the natural tendencies of Moon and Saturn are very different. Now planet like Moon is generally classified as a benefic planet, and a Saturn is usually classified as a malefic planet. Now I don't like to use these words benefic and malefic because I don't think they convey the true meaning of what we are trying to say. So in Vedic astrological text, most of the times another word is used, and that word in Sanskrit basically is known as Krura and Somya, which if loosely translated would mean, for benefic it would mean Somya, meaning soft planet, and for malefic Krura would mean an aggressive planet. And I think these two words classify the differences between Moon and Saturn much better, in a sense that Moon has all the softer qualities. It is a motherly planet, love, emotions, art, music, all these soft qualities are associated with Moon, whereas the malefics or aggressive planet, they more deal with physical power, fights, war, politics, perseverance, not letting go of things, and they represents qualities which are more masculine, more malefic. Now so Saturn is a big malefic planet, and in the horoscope of a Cancer ascendant, it rules the 7th and 8th house, because 7th and 8th house contain sign of Capricorn and Aquarius respectively. And again, 8th house lordship makes Saturn more malefic. When a planet is lord of 8th house, it becomes functional malefic as well. So basically planet Saturn is a first rate malefic whenever it comes to Cancer rising sign. Now there is no need to get worried because every rising sign, every horoscope will have some planets as benefic and some planets as malefic. But since Saturn has achieved or attained that malefic planet stature, the interpretation of that Saturn becomes little bit tricky, and we'll try to see how exactly this functional as well as natural malefic planet behaves in the ascendant for one of the most soft planet, Moon. So when we have this Cancer ascendant ruled by Moon, we just saw that it has a lot of great properties of being soft, emotional, appreciative of arts, culture, and so on. But what happens is, in benefic planets ascendant, especially with Cancer ascendant, these ascendant signs, they lack those aggressive qualities. They lack the quality of, say, being hard worker or perseverance or being stubborn. You have to be stubborn. You have to be firm to achieve something in life, to be able to stand up for yourself. And position of a malefic planet like Saturn here in the active sign of Cancer gives those missing properties. When you have a Cancer rising in Saturn, then the person gets the power or attitude of hard work. They become really perseverant. They don't give up easily. It's usually, if you see a Cancer rising sign, they, with moon being the lord, they are not one of the most steadfast or most firm people. They change their mind often. You see moon every day moon is different. Moon rises and or waxes and wanes every day. Their mind keeps on changing every day. But this placement of Saturn here gives them a lot of firmness, gives them an ability to never give up. And many times these people can very strangely come about as extremely stubborn. And the aspect of this Saturn on the 10th house really makes them a go-getter, meaning they would, once they set their eyes on their target, it is difficult for them to be nudged or budged from that position. And work or the 10th house affairs, career, that becomes generally, because of this placement of Saturn, very important for them. Now these are some of the great qualities which a Cancer rising sign or Cancer rising chart naturally lacks. However, being Saturn here actually compensates a lot. It controls a lot of their softer and emotional side and gives them a lot of those aggressive qualities which otherwise is missing in a Cancer horoscope. So in that sense, it is a good placement. It is good for material success. It is good for achieving success in the workplace. However, there are many flip side of this Saturn also, because it is a malefic after all. So we know that Saturn is a malefic and it is sitting right in the ascendant. Now Saturn usually is known as the primary karaka of adverse situation, adversity. So what this Saturn suggests in the first house is that though you will have stubbornness, perseverance and tenacity to continue against all odds, you will have to face adverse situations at the same time. Meaning you will have to face some resistance in your endeavors before reaching success. But remember, you are gifted with the perseverance to beat the odds and be successful. Now the only question is how easily you will be able to beat those adversities. That depends on strength of moon. If moon is really strong, you will be able to overcome these adversities very quickly. If moon is little bit weak, it will take you some time to reach to the success. However, in any case, Saturn's placement in the very first house and its aspect on the 10th shows that the person tastes the true success only after the age of 35, specifically around 36 years of age when Saturn matures. So 36 is the age of Saturn's maturity, and what it also means is a lot of your young time, a lot of your working time from say 18 to 20 to up to 30s, that you will have to be ready for hard work. And Saturn is a planet which is known to give wonderful results only and only after the hard work. It's Jupiter who gives you a silver spoon in the mouth, not Saturn. Saturn is going to make you work for every penny, but once it starts giving you success, all that effort will be worth it. And remember, just the very fact that Saturn is in the first house, that means you have the perseverance to go on, and you must go on. Now, another thing which happens because of this Saturn is, it is in your first house, and first house shows your mental attitude. It is the place where your brain resides, your head. It shows how your mind works. And the sign of Cancer is closely associated with your deep-rooted feelings, your deepest thoughts. And when a malefic Saturn comes here, obviously people become tenacious, they don't give up easily, but at the same time, they can have a tendency to be too serious to the extent of being even gloomy. And this scenario of gloomy will only happen when there are no good influence, in fact some malefic influence on Saturn. So what that means is, people with this placement need to learn to loosen up a bit, especially up to this age of 35, 36, especially in their early ages. They need to be able to cultivate a positive outlook. It is the demand of this Saturn, that you must see the brighter side of life. You must go on. You will have some adverse situation, you have the tenacity to fight against them, but during that period of time also, don't be too serious, don't be too gloomy, and at the same time don't also be dead focused on your goal. Because what happens sometimes with this condition, when people are really serious about their personal goal, others can view you as a self-centered person. And that happens very often with this kind of placement of Saturn in the first house, because the Saturn dominates your inner feelings, and you are too consumed in your own quest, to win, to reach to that end line of the race. And because of that, many times your friends, your social circle, your co-workers or your acquaintances, they can feel that you are too self-centered, and that can cause issues in those relationships. So yes, it's good to be stubborn, it's good to be firm in your view, it's good to be focused on the goal, but try to loosen up a bit. Don't be always too serious, and try to remember that there is a season for everything to happen. No fruit come without its proper season coming in. So in a day, there should be time to just laugh and be with friends, enjoy each other's company, have some relaxed time, because most of the other time you will be serious and fully focused anyways. Now let's quickly talk about the 7th aspect of this Saturn, especially the marriage part of it, because many people would be interested in that. And actually this one placement of Saturn can tell a lot about married life of a person, especially when this Saturn's placement is also combined with Venus and Moon's placement, because Venus is the primary karaka of husband, or basically marriage, wife and marriage, and Moon here represents your true self because it is the ascendant lord. But Saturn being the lord of the 7th house, and 7th house is the house of your spouse, the aspect of Saturn on this very house which it owns is actually very good for marriage. This Saturn's aspect provides for a good partner. It is actually a important significator which shows that you would get a good partner as your spouse, and the placement of this in the first house also shows that the spouse will be well known to you before marriage. You might know him or her for quite a long time. And anyways, when Saturn, the Lord of Saturn, the Lord of 7th house Saturn aspects its own house, you wouldn't commit to any kind of marriage without giving it a long and proper thought, because Saturn doesn't like anything done in haste. Saturn always takes its time and does things slow and steady. So it is very likely that you will know your spouse long before the marriage. So with this, I'll stop here for this video. There are so many other things which this one placement of Saturn can tell you about your life. We will go more detailed, more further, and look into every nitty-gritty of these Saturn's placement in a more detailed video later. For now, I hope you liked my quick analysis of Saturn in first house for Cancer Ascendant. Please do like and subscribe to my channel to continue to get more updates like this. I thank you very much for being with me so far and hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.